Hey, and welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're jumping right in to build the groundwork for your very first real conversations in Italian. We're going to do that by nailing down the 10 most critical verbs you absolutely have to know. So if you're just starting out on your Italian adventure, it's totally normal to look at all the grammar and vocabulary and just feel, well, a little overwhelmed. It can seem like a huge mountain to climb, but what if I told you there's a much smarter way to start? The trick is to focus your energy. Seriously, just mastering these 10 verbs first gives you a massive head start and lets you start expressing yourself almost immediately. Okay, let's get into it. Think of what we're about to cover as your Italian starter pack. This is the essential toolkit you'll need for those first conversations. We're going to kick things off with our first category, the verbs of being. These are the words you need to describe who you are, and what the world around you is like. First up is the absolute king of Italian verbs, essere. This means to be, and it's what you use for permanent things, your identity, your personality traits, your nationality. You want to say, I am Italian? You got to use essere. Next, we've got avere, which means to have. Now, part of this is super simple, right? You use it for possession, to talk about things you have. You don't have a pen. Easy. But, and this is a big but, avere has another really important job that's totally different from English. And here it is. This is a game changer. In English, we say someone is 80 years old. In Italian, you have 80 years. So you don't say the grandma is 80. You say la nonna ha 80 anni. She has 80 years. You gotta burn this one in your brain. It's that important. And now for the other to be verb, stare. This guy is all about temporary things. How are you feeling right now? Where are you located? Are you feeling fine? That's when you use stare. It can also mean to stay, which kind of makes sense, right? So here's the dead simple way to remember the difference. Essere is for what you are, your permanent identity. Stare is for how or where you are, your temporary state. So, being tall, that's permanent. It's essere. Feeling sick, that's temporary. So it's stare. Got it? All right, let's move on. Next up are the verbs of doing. These are your action words, the verbs that are going to make your sentences come alive with activity. Okay, meet fare. This means to do, or to make. And honestly, it's like the Swiss Army knife of Italian verbs. You'll hear it everywhere, for everything. It's incredibly versatile. I love this quote from an Italian teacher. She says, fare is the parsley of the Italian language. And it's so true. Just like they sprinkle parsley on so many dishes, Italians sprinkle the verb fare all over their conversations. So it's crucial to know that fare has two main jobs. The first one's easy, to do or make something, like we do our homework. But the second one is a bit tricky. It's used in all these set phrases. For example, you don't have breakfast in Italian. You say, io faccio colazione, which literally means, I do breakfast. Weird, I know, but you just gotta learn it. To get you moving, we need andare, to go. This one's pretty straightforward, but it's essential. Anytime you're talking about going somewhere, to the movies, to school, to Italy, you're gonna need andare. Okay, here's a little pro tip for you. The verb vedere means to see, just like you'd think, but Italians use it all the time to mean to watch, especially for TV or movies. So saying, noi vediamo un film is a totally normal way to say, we watch a movie. You knew this one was coming, right? We have to talk about food. Mangiare means to eat, and you can't survive a trip to Italy without it. The best part? It works pretty much exactly like it does in English. So that's one less thing to worry about. Let's talk about vivere, to live. This verb is cool because it does double duty. It covers where you physically live, like a city or country, but it also covers how you live, your lifestyle, your experience of living. And for our final group, let's look at the verbs of communicating. I mean, these are the tools you need to actually talk to people. First up is dire, which means to say or to tell. You use this when you're reporting what someone else said, or when you're telling someone some information directly. Think of it as your reporting verb. And last, but definitely not least, we have parlare, to speak or to talk. This one is a beginner's absolute best friend because it's how you tell people what languages you speak. That phrase, io parlo un po' di italiano, is pure gold. Memorize it. So there you have it. Your starter toolkit is officially complete. You've got the 10 most foundational verbs in Italian ready to go. Now, the only thing left is to actually use them. Let's just run through them one last time, real quick. We have essere and stare for being, avere for having, fare for doing, andare for going, vedere for seeing, mangiare for eating, vivere for living, and dire and parlare for communicating. That's your 10. Look, it might seem like just a short list, but don't underestimate how powerful it is. With just these 10 verbs, you really can start introducing yourself, talking about your day, and having your first simple conversations. The key now is just to practice, practice, practice. So I'm going to leave you with a question, little challenge. Which one of these verbs are you going to practice first? Go ahead, pick one, make a sentence with it today, and you are officially on your way.